Welcome to Sit, Stay, Read, the podcast for every wag, whinny, and whisker. I'm Kathleen Donnelly, award-winning author and retired canine handler. Each week, I chat with novelists about the bond we share with our furry friends and how they inspire stories. Grab a coffee, get cozy with your favorite pet. It's time to sit, stay, read. Well, today I'm thrilled to have Marie Tierney on the show to tell us more about her debut and award-winning novel, Deadly Animals. And this episode is part of a special October spooky Halloween reads. So if you want a good Halloween read, I highly recommend Deadly Animals. It was fantastic. Marie also writes plays and poetry and is now a full-time writer. So, Marie, welcome to the show and a big congratulations on winning the International Thriller Writers Debut Novel of the Year. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you. So the books on Sit Stay Read feature animal characters, and your book caught my attention because it features animals, but in a little different way. So I would love for you to tell us more about Deadly Animals.
So it's a crime fiction thriller. It's set in 1981 in South Birmingham in the West Midlands of England. And it's about a teenage girl who has the macabre habit of studying roadkill and all nature and wildlife in general, but that is her speciality. And while she's studying one particular fixture, a fox, she comes across the dead body of a missing teenage boy. And that's how it begins. So it has many, many animals in it. She's very interested in animal anatomy, specifically bones, human anatomy as well. She likes to compare. And it's got dogs in it. Don't want to give too many spoilers away.
Yep.
And it covers the whole plethora of nature, really, dead and alive. So yeah, but it's very fixed on the canine aspect, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely is. And I read that you grew up reading fairy tales and that some specific fairy tales inspired this. So, along with the animals, which fairy tales came into play with
Okay,
with
so
Deadly
uh, uh,
Animals?
well, for the book, for the actual crime fiction plot, it was based on three real life cases that were in France and
Oh, okay.
Russia during the, what was it? Let me have a think. It's the 15th, 16th centuries, 17th centuries, and it involved um, child killings, really. From I can't give too much away. See, this is.
I know. I know. I actually had a hard time writing your interview questions because I'd write something and then I'd say, "Oh no, no,
Oh,
no! Now they'll give
but,
something
but
away."
yeah,
So we'll figure this out.
if if we can imagine that it is Little Red Riding Hood
Okay.
meets Max from Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh,
If
I
he was,
love that.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. That's a good way. Yeah, it is. You have your story just instantly takes off and yeah, there would be a lot of spoiler alerts. So I will admit it'll be fun to talk about it. And so one of the things I think we can discuss further though is Ava. I
hmm
absolutely loved her. She's so smart. She's so spunky. And yet she's going through a lot of the usual teenage things. You know, there's a broken home. She's dealing with mom and dad, having boyfriend, did you base her character on anyone in particular, your life or someone you know?
yes, me, completely the
Okay.
same. Of
Okay.
all the with all the ticks and the interests and the macabre hobbies and that kind of thing. So yeah, I thought if I was going to write that sort of character with any authenticity, then I would have to delve within my own past and create this person who has better support system than I did at the time. And I'm really, really, really pleased that people seem to have taken Ava Bonney to their hearts. So I'm really pleased
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
13, quite happy with that.
Yeah, she's really wonderful and she cracks me up. So you have kind of this dark side of the book where, there's some dead animals, there's this murder, but then you have some parts where I laughed out loud, like when she called in the finding the dead body and what did she call herself? Mrs. Poshy Snob.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He talks very much like that. She's so, it's very posh, very upper class accent. A little bit Mary Poppins, like that. Because she knows that if she rings in with her original accent, speaking like a young girl, she's not going to be believed. So she puts on the adult so that she's believed. And it works because then she gets DS Delahaye on the case, really, and he's an amazing character that I actually really quite like. So yeah, he's a detective, isn't he, on the scene? So and they seem
he
to help
is.
each other solve this case.
They
Um,
do. And I would love to actually hear a little more about him. I wanted to ask you about him as well, because he's not quite your usual detective.
no, no, I didn't want to have a detective that has all the usual stereotypical crime fiction habits of womanizing, being a drunk, being a drug addict,
Mhm.
having issues. I just wanted somebody in the book that's moral compass was solid, who knew the difference between right and wrong, who had been raised in love and loved his job, and also completely baffled by this awful murder case that's landed in his lap. So his reactions are very much like men I have known in the past, and who were like that, who were just good men, really.
Yeah.
So I based Delahaye on him. Delahaye itself, the name Delahaye, I didn't realize this until I actually reread because I reread favorite books every year.
Oh,
There's one
cool.
called Hannibal Rising by Thomas Harris, which is the prequel
Okay.
to Silence of the Lambs and that kind of thing. And the car that's featured in it is a French car called the Delahaye, and it's stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's more
Oh,
like
okay.
art than engineering, and it must have stuck in my head. So yeah, it's actually named after a French car.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, but it must have stuck in. It must have lodged there to create this. And you should see pictures of this car called the Delahaye. Just have a look. It's just wonderful.
Oh, I'll
It's a
definitely look it up.
Yeah, it's a classic car. It's beautiful. And so I chose that name because it's unusual. It stands apart from all the other English names that are in the book because I wanted him to stand out as a beacon of goodness. And because in Ava's life, other than John and John's grandfather, the other men in her life are quite dodgy, not very pleasant, quite dangerous. So I wanted him to stand out as a good man.
Yeah, I love that because you're right. She really strikes me a little bit as a resilient and a survivor and really taking care of herself.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean she's just fantastic. But John, you mentioned John, and he definitely deserves a mention, her friend. So is he based off of anyone?
Yes, he's based on two boys that I knew as I was growing up. And yeah, and also he's based, because I've just finished the second book, which is the
Oh,
sequel.
fantastic.
Right. But John in the second book, I've just realized this. He's based on my son.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
John, John, the later teenage version of John is based on my son Joe. And
Okay.
he's very much a knight, like a knight, as in knight in shining armor. He's got that sort of way about him.
He
He's got
does.
this Knights Templar way a bit about, what is right, what is wrong. And I like how he develops in the book as well. He goes from being quite in awe of Ava to being more of a guardian of her towards the end of the book.
Yeah.
Because I wanted him to develop as well his own little story arc. And he starts to tell her what to do a bit there towards the end. And I like that because she
I like
needed
that
that.
too.
She needs somebody to take care of her while she's taking care of other people. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. I know what it's like to be a parentified child, and it's nice to have somebody to say, "Do you know what? You sit there, and I'll sort this out this time." And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But at the moment, because I'm so much in the second book, which is 1985, it's very difficult sometimes for me to come back to 1981.
I understand that. You get enough books ahead and then you start talking about another book and you're like, what happened? What did I write about? So I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
understand
I mean,
that.
but I am really pleased that people like the book. I never thought that's such a macabre. strange little girl would be taken into so many hearts and be appreciated. So it's really nice.
Yeah, well, and I think I found her fascinating because when if you just say she has this collection of dead animals that she studies, it does sound a little dark or macabre, but I love that it seems like she's doing this out of a true interest and an actual love for the animals that she
Oh yeah.
really, yeah. So I'd love to hear
Yes.
more about that.
Yeah, so I had my own roadkill body farm between the ages of 7 and 10. I never dissected them. I never took them apart. I always buried them. I always gave the rabbit's prayer from Watership Down afterwards. Um, I was always as much as interested in life, in birth, um, how animals develop as they get older, you know, wild and domesticated,
Yeah.
just as much as I was interested in decomposition. I was interested in the entire spectre of animals, mostly on
Yeah.
mammals. I'm very much a theoryphile. I love mammals very much. Yes, they're my
Okay.
favorite. I've got a friend who's into aves, so she loves birds. So we sometimes have
Okay.
arguments about who's the best, birds or mammals. But it's obviously mammals. So
Obviously.
we rule the
I love it.
world. We
That's
rule the
it.
world.
Well, she's not here, so we're going with mammals.
Yeah, she loves. Yeah, yeah. She's got a lot of her own aviary, and yeah, people don't realize how much like dinosaurs birds actually are until you're
Yeah,
with slightly bigger ones. Like she's got a
yeah.
cockatoo, and it's very much like a velociraptor and acts that way.
I understand. A long time ago, I took care of a bird. I was pet sitting, and yeah, they are like velociraptors.
Yeah, how you would imagine how they move their heads, you know. So yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, back to the storyline with 1981. I was really fascinated. Why that year? And then your next book's set in 85. So what
yes.
made you go back in time versus making it contemporary right now?
I wanted to put the detectives, and that includes Ava, through their paces because prior to 1987, there was no DNA.
Yeah.
So they have to use old-fashioned public support, proper evidence, proper deduction techniques, common sense. And I wanted them to use those qualities, those techniques, rather than, oh, we've got him because he's got DNA. In
Yeah.
1981, we were still working with 100-year-old forensic evidence techniques. For example, fingerprinting, um, blood typing, secreting, that kind of aspect of it. And I wanted it to make it an old-fashioned crime fiction story, which was historically based in an area I knew very, very well, with all its strange dichotomies. It was a massive car factory, and it had huge mental asylums, and it was tucked into beautiful greenbelt hills, forests.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
very strange area. It's a very strange. I'll send you a picture actually
I would
if you're
love
interested.
that. I would love that.
Yeah,
And I got on your Instagram and you share some really amazing pictures on there of the countryside.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very, very hilly, which I like. My
Mhm.
calf muscles at the back of my legs love hilly areas. Because I live in a very flat area now,
Okay.
so I do miss the hills. But yeah, it is beautiful area. It's a beautiful area. If you bypass all the council estates, you can just get to the forests, woodland, hills, and yeah, it was a great place to play.
I
Great place to use
bet.
your imagination. You
Oh,
know,
I
it was
bet.
the sound of motorways in the background. It was really nice.
Yeah, I think that's what was fun for me personally, living in Colorado. All of a sudden, as I read the book, I'm transported to Birmingham and
Yeah,
into England, and I really love that. So, and I could tell you were very familiar with the setting, so it wasn't surprising to find
yeah,
out that's where you grew up.
yes, yeah. It's I mean, it's changed. The car
Yeah.
factories no more. The asylums are no more. Um,
Okay.
The flyover still stands
Is it?
in all
Okay.
in all its ugliness. Um, but yeah, it's still there, and the countryside at the moment is still there. So fingers crossed it doesn't get built on. But yeah, it was a strange community as well because it we called it the village because it used to be a
Okay.
village, and it had that same sort of community atmosphere of being, everybody knew each other, everybody could pop into each other's
Mhm.
houses. So I wanted to bring that into the book as well because I think what happens to the community with especially with the child deaths, the child murders, it brings it to the fore how much everybody cared about each other,
Yeah.
and how much Ava loved the community as well, despite it
Yeah.
sometimes it being against her and a family. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to bring that into the book.
It definitely
We've gone
came
without the
through.
question.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and part of the community in this, well, I shouldn't say community, but there's a creature on the loose. Again, I was trying to be careful how I phrase
Yeah,
this and
yeah,
no spoilers, but it's a little bit scary. We don't know if it's human or animal for a while. Although Ava, I think,
uh,
figures that out really quickly. But what can
yeah,
you tell us more about that? And I picture the eyes on the cover of this
yeah.
book as
I mean,
I
I love the American cover. That's such an 80s cover, isn't it? Those
it
colors are
is.
so 80s.
It is. It is.
Uh,
It is. I love
yeah,
it.
it's like MTV design that book cover, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Um,
You're right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's well, I forgot what the question was.
Oh no, that's all right. I was just thinking
Creature.
about
It was a
the
creature. Yes, it
creature.
was a creature.
I'm calling
Okay.
it a creature, but
Yeah, okay.
it's
So because Ava and I do as well. So if I see a number and it's a date in history, then my mind automatically goes, oh, that happened in 1348, 1997. Um, so because she knows about criminal history, um, it's not a great leap for her to deduct that it's not quite what it seems right from the off.
yeah.
Um, I'm very much attuned to people's movement. So if I see somebody in the street, for example, the woman wearing high heels in the street, I can actually tell whether or not they hurt her or not,
That
just
makes
by the
sense.
kind of gait that she's got. Or I can tell somebody worked in the fields from a very young age by the way that they walk or hold themselves.
That makes a lot of
Um,
sense.
it's that kind of thing. So she can work out pretty early on that something's off with the whole situation,
Yeah.
that nothing is quite what it seems. And nobody around her is quite what they seem either. So
Yeah.
she has to
That's
contend with that as well.
that's a great
But
way
I
to
want,
put it.
yeah, because I wanted all my characters to, I mean, other than Delahaye, who was a grown up, a proper grown up, in the grown up sense that we all want grown
Mhm.
ups in our life to be.
Right.
When people say, "Oh, thank God, you're the grown up in the room," that kind of grown up. That's what
Right.
Delahaye is. But I want everybody to be on a journey of change. And
Yeah.
one of the characters in it is certainly trying to change.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so I wanted to make the villains, I wanted to make the heroes, I wanted them to make them as complicated as possible.
Yeah.
So
And you
you
did
don't
that.
you understand them, but you don't make excuses for them.
Yes.
Because that's one of the reasons why I never wrote from the villain's point of view, because there's too much about from the villain's point of view, and I'm not really into that. So I wanted to know what
And
the victims and the victims' impact on the community was like on their families and on Ava, because she knows two of the victims really well.
yes. Yes.
Um, so I wanted, yeah, to make everybody well-rounded, even the background characters. I wanted to do a David Fincher in a book.
Okay.
The way that the way that he does characters, when he does characters in his films and TV series, he always makes them very well rounded. There are no background characters. They all seem to be fully formed.
Right.
So that's what I like. I paid attention in Mindhunter.
I love that. And I can tell as you're saying all this, I can see it all because I really enjoyed the book. And it's really yeah, everything you just said. The characters are so great that you're like I love with the first victim with Mickey. I think we can talk a little bit about him. He's the first
Yes.
boy who's murdered, and I love how Ava's like, well, he's not really that nice, and I didn't really like him, but she doesn't want to see anything bad happen to him. She feels bad for this murder. So I really love that because I think that's realistic with all of us.
Well, for example, although he is based on a bully, Brett Arbello as well, the main bully in it, is based on two bullies that I knew. But with
Okay.
Mickey, it was based on a boy I knew who was very unpleasant, but he did love animals.
Yeah.
And not in the same way that, Hitler loved dogs.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
But in the
Right.
fact that he did, whoa. Um, but in the way in the way that he absolutely did love. He saw a dog in the street or a cat in the street, he would have
Yeah.
to stroke it, say hello to it, like the way that Ava would.
Yeah.
So there was a possibility of becoming something different when he got older if he had an opportunity, and he never got the opportunity because he winds up very, 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 very dead.
Yes, very dead. Yes.
Um, yeah. So, I wanted to bring his parents into it at some point as well, because they obviously Ava sees the parents, the dad, doesn't she, in the
Yeah.
in the shop. No. Um, I wanted them, yeah, I wanted people to understand that, yes, some people do grow up to be bad people. If they're bad people as children, there's an old saying in this country in England called "Give me a boy of 7 and I'll show you the man."
Oh, interesting. I like
think
that.
I
Okay.
think I think I think that's so applicable. It's so true.
It is very true.
And see, with some of the people in it, they're obviously never going to change because they like being how they are, and some of them think that doing the bad things is not bad at all. It's just what they do. But
Right.
with Ava and Mickey, the fact that he is a boy and he's been killed makes him a threat not just to him but to her own sisters.
Yeah.
So she has to t take responsibility, take on something that she shouldn't do, but she's used to it because she's the parentified older child. She takes it on
Right.
board that she might have to help the police in some way, and she does.
Yeah, she does. And I loved it. I loved it. And that brought in Mrs. Pushy Snob at the beginning. So
Yes, becomes Miss Misty towards the end, like in play Misty.
yeah.
But yeah, but she in the next one as well, she does a little bit of voice code switching,
Does
voice
she?
switching. Yeah.
I was wondering, well, tell us more about the next one because it's 4 years later, so she'll be what,
Yes.
18?
Well, she's 17 going on 18, so
Okay.
she it starts when it does it start? Um, it starts with a young woman running for her life down a foggy street, and it is where Ava is much older, a much harder person, still
Okay.
essentially the kind of Ava that people will like, but she takes it on board to help this young woman who has been attacked,
Okay.
and it starts from there. And it turns out that very, very bad men over a period of time have gone missing. We don't know why,
Okay.
don't know how, but we know they are. And Ava sort of becomes part of the investigation with the help of John
Good.
um, and Sean, who is mentioned in the first novel. He is the boy who helps to vandalize the pedophile's house. He throws the Yeah, and he's in it, and he's her romantic interest in the second book.
Oh, I like
And
that. Okay.
yeah, and the beta readers, the readers who have read it, including my agent, they love that character. They love Sean.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've done a
Nice.
yeah, so that's really good. And yeah, but the villains this time are even more complicated than the one in
Oh,
the first
wow.
novel because there will be people wondering if they are villains at all,
Okay.
especially women.
Oh, I love
That's what
that.
I'm saying. It's
Now,
I would say it's a bleak book.
okay. That's my kind of book.
And if
So,
and as it's also it's based on criminal history cases again, but it's also
okay.
based on two fairy tales. So should I tell you what they are?
Oh, I would love that. Yes, please do.
Okay. So it's sort of based on Hansel and Gretel.
Okay. Ooh, I
You can't
like
get much
that.
bleaker. You can't get much bleaker than Hansel and Gretel. And the Robber Bridegrooms.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
yeah, and that I like that's a horrible fairy tale.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is really horrible. So yeah, so it's based on uh, three criminal historical
Okay.
cases, and two fairy tales,
Oh,
almost
wow.
together in 1985.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, will I can't talk for a sec, sorry. Will there be animals in this one? Like, okay, the dogs
Yes,
and okay.
well, there will be animals in it, but I
Okay.
can't say very much because I'll give something very special away.
Okay.
I want people to read it and think, "Oh, I like this character," and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
There are animals. There is a lot to do with nature. There is a lot to do with anatomy, a lot to do with human
Okay.
anatomy, um, cases in history that people will read it and go, "Oh, I never knew that serial killer existed. I'll read up on him," and then regret it.
Okay. Now, is it
Um,
recent serial killer or
but they're all historical.
historical? Okay.
I can't even mention them because if I mention them, then it sort of gives away the plot line because
Oh, well, then we won't go
very
there.
specific with their habits and what they like
Okay.
to do.
Okay.
However, so what I'm really looking forward to, Netflix's release of Ed Gein.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how that goes because Dharma
Okay.
was so well written and so well executed. So I'm looking forward to that. But his was Ed Gein mentioned? No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I mentioned loads of them in the next one because she's interested because she's so interested in taxonomy. She does her own
Yeah.
taxonomy of serial killers. So some of that, so
Okay.
she names them after monsters with rules. And monsters with rules are ghosts, vampires, zombies, werewolves. So she puts them in the
Yes.
different categories in which they sit.
Okay. Oh,
And
I
then she
love
does Venn
that.
diagrams.
Okay.
I used to do Venn diagrams.
Did you?
It's like this. Yeah, so yeah, it was a lot of fun to write. It was taking me a bit of a while, and then I raced towards the end, and I thoroughly enjoyed because I have the ending, I have the very beginning and the very ending of both books, and then
Okay.
it's just going to get everything in the middle to get to me. Because with Deadly Animals, I was starting to panic that I would never finish it. So I wrote the ending and then I worked back from the ending
Oh,
to where I was
interesting.
what I was. And it worked. So yes.
Okay.
So this time I had the ending. I had the plot that I wanted and then it all merged together. And apparently it's all the readers love it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
they didn't know
fantastic.
they didn't know who the villain was until the very end. So there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Oh, that'll be fun to read the next one. And we'll have to have you back on the show since there's
Oh, that'd be
animals in it.
lovely.
So definitely talk about the next installment with Ava and John and Sean too. So
Yes. And
uh
Delahaye.
I was just gonna ask if he was gonna be in. So
Oh
I was
yes.
hoping
Yes.
he would. Because now I
Yes.
can't imagine any of your books without him, even though I've only read one. So
Well, yeah, he's in it. He is definitely in it. He's really in it this time. Some would say he was in serious trouble this time round.
oh,
So I may
oh,
or may not
that'll be
have killed off the
interesting.
main character. Don't know.
Oh,
Have I?
okay.
But yeah, but yeah, yeah, but yeah. I really enjoyed writing both of them. Um, and I'm very pleased that Americans like it.
Oh, I
That's
love
just
it.
fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
really pleased about that.
Yeah. I don't know what it says about me that I read it and I'm ready to buy a plane ticket and come on vacation to England because I don't know that this is really the travel guide that anyone wants.
No, no, you are just right where you are at the moment. You've got your First Amendment there. We don't here at the moment. Yeah, I mean, if I give a rosy tint to what Rubery was like, it was it was that enchanting, and it was that, but it was also very, very grimy. It was very,
Okay.
very noisy because of the main road that was going through
Yeah.
it, because of the huge school with the
Yeah.
thousands of children. So yeah, it's not as it was. But if you would like to go to the countryside surrounding it, then yeah, that'd be worth it. That'd be
Yeah.
worth the plane ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the countryside is what draws me in and your
Yeah.
description
It
of it and
it's yeah, it is
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, when does the next book come out? Does it have a title yet?
It does have a title. My editor is busy, he's busy writing notes on it and editing it at the moment.
Okay.
He said I did a really good job, which is editor speak for he didn't have to do too much to it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Translation there.
I had I had his voice in my head the whole time. So, you know, do you need this? Shall we do that? What is this? So yeah, but he's editing it at the moment. So it should be, all being well, when I get the edits through and I'm itching to get at them so I can start on them. So it should be out about, all being well, fingers crossed, May next year. I can't
Okay.
see it being any earlier than that at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's called Blade Mill.
Blade Mill. Okay.
Blade,
Fantastic. Fantastic.
yeah.
Well, how can readers keep up with you, connect with you, find out when Blade Mill, the release dates, all that good stuff?
Um, they can contact the publishers, Holt, because Holt have
Okay.
a regular news update on what my book's doing.
Okay.
They can my Instagram, which is marie.tierney.971. I don't have much of um, a presence on social media because I
Okay.
think it's poisonous.
Yeah.
I haven't got a website yet, but I will do it at some point. And a proper author photograph, apparently, because that'll be fun for somebody that
Yeah.
hates having a picture taken. Uh, yeah, great. Yay. Let's do that. Um, yeah, so yeah, so that's it really. I don't have a what is it,
Okay.
an X account? I don't have any of that sort of thing. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Holt has an Instagram and they have that,
Okay.
my Instagram. Sometimes I put stuff up about the book, sometimes I put my art up. So
Nice.
and the art is as bleak as the books.
I had meant to ask you because I had noticed the art on your Instagram and I thought it was
Yeah.
really, really fascinating. And so that is all your artwork then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
All the Holocaust based artwork is mine because I used to teach it about it
Okay.
properly,
Okay.
and I used to use art to teach the children, 14-year-olds, as I taught it
Okay.
in this country vaguely. And yeah, so I used to have it on a PowerPoint at the back, and then they would look at the art and they would say, "Well, Miss, what does that mean? Why is that pair of boots so important? Why is that their red dress? What does?" So they would ask me all questions about it, and then I can teach them through using the art because it's based on somebody I met when I was 16 years old who was a Holocaust survivor and changed my life around completely. And
Oh.
Delahaye is based on a Holocaust survivor, as well as
Oh,
another man.
wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, and I would like to write. I have written a sort of a manuscript based on his and his life because it's
Okay.
incredible. It's just amazing, and the artwork is just an extension of that, especially the black and
Wow.
white stuff,
Wow.
which is more fantastical. But yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. So or it's yeah, it's not very Disney.
Well, and that is just fine. And I love the connection there with the Holocaust and how you taught your students because
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know learning it here in the US, it was just like a textbook and okay, you just read the
Yeah.
dates and you can't put a picture in your mind with it.
That's right. And because I knew Eddie so very, very well, I wrote his entire story down in
Wow.
shorthand, and every aspect of his life is worth of a book and a TV series.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day that if I was going to do another series of crime fiction, maybe I could put it into Eddie's story.
Oh, yeah.
The crime fiction has never been put into the Holocaust before. I mean, what is one more murder amongst the genocide?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was thinking about that, but yeah, because he was 14 when he went in, and I was teaching it to 14-year-olds, I could hook the children's interest because they were the same age as he was when he went into Auschwitz-Birkenau. So it was, and they like art. They're very visual creatures, teenagers. So
Yeah.
it was very, very, and all the different characters that were in his life at the time, they're all different. They're all fascinating. They're all complicated. They were very nuanced. So the kids would just ask me questions about the art, and they
Oh,
would
I love
just stare
that.
at the art and go, it was always fascinating. The questions are always good. So why are red dresses in each single picture? Why was a bowl so necessary? What if he didn't have boots? And it was that kind of, and where, the fact that one character had the tattoo across his chest, he was the only one that
Yeah.
had it across his chest and not on his left arm. They wanted to know why that was. So it's little
I love
things like
that.
that, and it could bring in every single aspect of the Holocaust because it's like World War Two. Just when you think you've got one theatre down
Yeah.
and known, you've got loads of other theatres to deal with.
Yeah.
It because the Holocaust was a war within a war. It was a war against humanity.
Yeah.
You've got that it was like a smoke screen, the actual war. Well, I call the man's war with the hardware and the me and my tribe against your tribe. It was very much a smoke screen for covering up true evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I use art for that kind of thing, and it's on the Instagram. So if people want to cheer themselves up,
But it's also an important thing to talk about. It's something we should never
it is a
forget.
very yeah, it's a very very important thing to talk about. And yeah, I mean Eddie died in 1992.
Okay.
And what I like to say to people is that especially when the drawings come across, is that he looked the spitting image of the actor Matthew Good,
Okay.
um, who is in Department Q, which is on Netflix. If you haven't seen that yet, you should see that. It's fantastic. It's about time after 20 years of being in the business, he has his own TV series. That's beside the point. Yeah, so he looks like Matthew Good, and people go, especially women, they go, oh, does he? Did he? And I, yes, yes, he did.
I
Um,
love it.
Huge, yeah, good because I was so hungry for a good male role model. I was aware that he was a very attractive man because he was in his 50s when I met him. It's a very complicated story about how I met him. I wasn't doing very well at college with my anger management issues, which is covered in the next book, incidentally. Um, yeah, so he completely turned my life around, and yeah, he was. But I didn't notice that he was an attractive man because I saw more to him than that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted how he was, which was a strong masculine presence who knew the difference between good and evil, um, and was flawed, but had learned to live with those flaws and had survived these experiences to become a happy family man. It was just, he loved Birmingham. I mean, he
Yeah.
absolutely he loved England, loved Great Britain,
Yeah.
loved the Queen, and loved Birmingham. And, it's hard to beat that, really.
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah, he was
is.
an incredible
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I
I could talk about him all day and have done. But yeah, if he'd been alive, I think he would have been really, really pleased about the book. I think he would have
I
said,
bet he
it's
would.
about time. In his French accent, he said it would have been about time because he never got rid of that French accent.
Oh, he didn't.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so yeah.
Wow. Well, he sounds
Yeah, but
amazing.
he always makes me smile, even though, um, what he went through, he never made it his identity. Do you know what I mean? He was a very strong character. And he was very, very determined to make a difference and contribute, and he did, and he certainly did to my life, and he has
That's
done to children's
wonderful.
lives. Because if I see them in the street now, and I see most of my former students in the street all the time, and they've got families of their own, and they'll say, "Oh, Miss, do you remember when you used to talk about Eddie? That really stuck in my head." No, that has. So
That's
yeah,
wonderful. That's
yeah,
and I love how he's living on through your students, through
yeah,
characters in your book, and hopefully
yeah.
someday his own story. I hope you do write that because
Yeah, I hope so as well. About how that's going to be incorporated. I have a rough idea though. I always have rough ideas about that how
yeah,
to
yeah.
make it even darker. I can make anything really dark. Can't light
Oh,
things up. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. Uh, oh my dear, the
yeah.
drawings of my flower. I do flowers. Even they look like I don't know, tangled briaries and thorn bushes and things that might be lurking that really shouldn't be lurking there at all. But that's the way I am.
I love it. I love it. Well, and you do bring in some funny, like I said, there's some moments throughout the book that just it'd be this dark part and then Ava would do something and it would lighten it up too. So I see both sides to you, honestly. Well, thank you
Well,
so
I
much.
hope.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. There's in the next book. And I insist that this is being kept in. My editor's not going to get rid of this. The dialogue between the two boys, John and Sean, is hysterical because that's how boys connect, isn't it? Through banter.
Yeah.
And it's really, really funny. So, it's how boys are. I work with teenage boys, so I know how they talk to each other, and it can be quite insulting with the affection and friendship underneath. So
Yes.
yeah, but I think you'll laugh out loud at that if they keep it in,
If
which they will do.
I was gonna
I'll
say they
make damn
better.
sure. Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
We'll tell
Oh.
your editor I agree. It needs to be kept in if he says anything. I'm sure he's totally worried about what I think, but I
Well,
love it.
well, I mean, what's your organization about?
Oh, well, so Sit Stay Read is part of the Authors on the Air global network, and then we're all most of I think everyone, pretty much everyone who hosts a show is also an author. So it's fun, authors interviewing authors.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
With the canine element to it.
Yes, yes. All my books have canines and I'm a retired canine handler. So therefore it had to be sit, stay, read. But I'm also a horse lover, cat lover, you name it.
Oh, I love horses as
Animal
well.
lover. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I was
Yeah.
giving my mare a hard time this morning because she was giving me faces and I said, "Look out, I'm going to start calling you, Miss Poshy Snob." So because I thought that could fit her. So so you may have given her a nickname.
Oh, that's fantastic, though. That's fantastic. Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you for
yeah.
answering that question.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Well,
We really
thank you
appreciate
for having
it.
me. I've really enjoyed it. I've been smiling the whole time.
It's
My face
been,
actually aches.
I love it. Well, it's been a delight talking with you and everyone. Make sure you get your copy of Deadly Animals, a great Halloween read or any time of the year read, but very good if you want a specific Halloween read. And until next time, keep your tails wagging and pages turning.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining me today. Sit, Stay, Read is a part of the Authors on the Air Global Network. If you enjoyed today's author interview, be sure to leave a review and share the episode with a fellow animal-loving reader. If you're curious about the world of working dogs and wilderness adventures, please check out my books at KathleenDonnelly.com. Until next time, curl up with your best furry friend and sit, stay, read.